Hello everyone, this is Noah McCahey, and today's podcast is about my top 5 scenes in the Lord of the Rings movies. So, without further ado, it's ranking time. So, coming in at number 5 is the Mines of Moria scene from the Fellowship of the Ring. So it starts off with the Fellowship in a room with a tomb in it, and with orcs and a troll coming in and attacking them. They can avoid the troll pretty easily and fight off the orcs, and then they leave the room to head to the bridge of Khazad-dûm. So on their way to the bridge, loads of orcs appear with bows and arrows, start shooting at them. They manage to evade all the attacks, and then they get to the bridge of Khazad-dûm, and then Gandalf figures out that there's a Balrog after them. Balrogs are extremely dangerous creatures. The Balrog closes in on them. Gandalf roars his iconic line, "You shall not pass," and he holds off the Balrog while he tells the rest of them to fly, well that means run, while he's overtaken by the Balrog and thrown over the cliff, and Frodo is devastated. So that is number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Stupid Fat Hobbit from The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. So in this scene, basically Sam's cooking stew, and Frodo wakes up. At the very beginning of the scene, Frodo wakes up. Gollum's right beside him holding 2 dead rabbits. He cracks one of them in half. Sam runs over and says, "You're going to make him sick with that." So he drops So then it shows later on in the scene, Sam has the rabbits in a stew, cooking them, and Gollum said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And Sam says, I'm cooking them. You can't eat rabbits without cooking. I need to add some taters in here." And then Gollum says, "Taters? What's taters, precious?" And Sam says, "Taters? Cook 'em, stew 'em, put 'em in a stew, potatoes." Meanwhile, Frodo wanders off, but that's really the good part of this scene. So coming in at number 3 is Sam versus Shelob from the last movie, The Return of the King. Frodo's after been captured by Shelob and poisoned by her, so Sam follows Frodo in a desperate attempt to save him into Shelob's cavern. He holds up the file of Galadriel that he got from was it Frodo or him? It was Frodo. That Frodo got from the witch Galadriel at the end of the first book. So he holds it up and it shines its light at Shelob, pushing her back just a little bit. Shelob attacks, swinging her claws towards Sam. Sam evades, holds Sting up to Shelob, starts fighting her, and manages to get Shelob back into her cavern, scare her away. Meanwhile, he tries to tend to Frodo. Coming in at number 2, a very close second as well, is the Battle of the Pelennor Fields from the final movie, The Return of the King. This scene is just epic. There's huge elephants. Well, they're called, I forget what they're called, but oh my god, there's so many. It's a great battle. It really is a brilliant battle. And there's great battle cries. The horses ride into battle. Oh my goodness, it's brilliant. And then, Éowyn, the Princess of Rohan, manages to defeat the Witch King of Angmar, Sauron, the Dark Lord's second in command. So that's the best part of this scene. So overall, it's just a brilliant scene. And then, coming in at number 1, drumroll please, is, well, of course, number 1 had to be the finale, didn't it? It is the very end of The Return of the King. Frodo is in Mount Doom. He's holding the ring over the fires when suddenly the ring's power takes hold of him. He turns around to Sam and says, "The ring is mine." Then he puts it on with an evil smile before he disappears. Gollum runs into the room, throws a stone at Sam's head. Sam falls down. He jumps on top of the invisible Frodo and then bites off the finger that the ring is on. Then he takes up the ring, holds it up in the air, and he's so delighted. He's shouting with delight. He's shouting, "Precious, precious." He's so happy, but he's dancing right in the edge of the fire as well. In the book, he stumbles over the edge because he loses his balance. But in the movie, there's a brilliant dramatic scene here. Frodo gets up off the ground because he was in so much pain that his finger was bitten off. But he staggers up from the ground and walks toward Gollum, then grabs Gollum. Gollum and him have a big struggle, and then they both fall over the cliff together. Gollum falls into into the fires of Mount Doom with the ring and destroy the ring. And Frodo manages to hang on to the edge. So that is my top 5, everyone. And now time for 3 great facts about it. So the first shot of Sam's arm coming into frame, holding Sting, the sword at Shelob, is actually Peter Jackson's arm, which is actually very interesting. I never knew that until just earlier there. And next one, Peter Jackson has arachnophobia, and he based Shelob on the design of all the spiders that he hated, that he was most afraid of. And last but not least, the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, rabbit holes. There were rabbit holes all over the field in which they shot the battle in, and they had to fill them all up just in case there could be a pile up. Like with the horses, a horse could try and step in it, and then there could be a huge pile up with all the horses, and the horse or the rider could get seriously injured. So that's it, really, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast, and I hope you enjoyed it. So goodbye.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to my podcast, Let's Entertain. You're here with Lauren Lynch, and I'm going to be talking about some of the most tear-jerking games I have seen. So, starting off at number 1, we have Danganronpa 1. This is the starting game in the franchise about a murder mystery in a class of high school students. It can be very tear-jerking as you do not know what character is going to die, so you may get attached to one of your favourites and you might just pass away. So, watch out for this game, and I would recommend giving it a try. For number 4, But You Seem Fine. This is a game about hidden disorders where sometimes somebody might seem alright, but they're not really. It brings to light some of the disorders that people might not really recognize, might not really see, and the way that people can brush off so easily, even professionals. So now for number 3, the second game in the franchise of Danganronpa. In this game, it's the same concept with the high school students, except they're on an island. And as usual, there are really tear-jerking moments, but this one has gone sadder. It gets sadder throughout the series the more you watch, as each of the characters get more development, though it's a new cast every single time. Alright, and now for number 2, we have a tie. For the first one, it is called A Street Cat's Tale. This is a sad story about a kitten who is orphaned at a very young age and has to figure out how to survive in this world when there's no one out there to help them. It really brings to light some of the struggles that stray cats may have throughout life. And for the other tie, it is My Child Lebensborn. This sad game about the aftermath of what may have happened with the Nazis, where there is children who were abandoned by their parents simply for being half German. So they may be abandoned, and once somebody adopts them, they may still struggle. This story is about whether you adopt a boy or a girl, and then you have to take care of them and raise them and protect them from all of their schoolmates and everything. It's a sad thing, but this really did happen. And for our first place, we have Danganronpa V3. As I already said, it gets sadder throughout the series, probably with the game developers getting more experience. But this one had me cry a good few times, even in the starting chapter of the game. I would really recommend giving this series a try, and any other game. Some of the games cost a little, but none of them are crazy expensive, like some games you may see. I'd really recommend giving it a try, as it takes up hours and you'll have plenty of time to cry over it. Anyways, that's all for today. Join me next week for some of the most time-consuming games I've played. Bye!
Hi, my name is Liliana.
And my name is Kelsey.
Welcome to No Friendly Brownie, our top 5 recipes for sweet treats that anybody can make.
We've made this list to help beginners.
Here it is, our top 5 recipes for sweet treats that anybody can make.
Starting with number 5, banana bread. Banana bread is probably the hardest in this list in our opinion. You can use up your old brown bananas in it, and it's satisfying to mush up the bananas. Chocolate chips can be added as a decoration or be put in it as a sweet treat.
Next up, number 4, brown bread, which is a savoury option and is very healthy. It is very simple to prep because of the all-in-one method.
Hi, Connor here. Welcome to Song Explorer, my top 5 podcast of all about music. I've made this list because I got interested in music and I'm here to share my top 5 songs of all time. You should listen to this because these are old classics, the best of the best in my opinion. Here's my top 5 songs of all time. Starting with number 5, we have Can't Stop by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Great band in my opinion. Next up, number 4, You Could Be Mine by Guns N' Roses. Also a great song. Into our place we have My Hero by Foo Fighters. Coming in a close second is I Wanna Know What Love Is by the band Foreigner. And finally, number 1 is Hysteria Def Leppard. Did you know that the drummer of Def Leppard, Rick Allen, was involved in a car accident that ended up with him losing his left arm in about 1984, New Year's Eve, about to hit 1985. And did you also know that the producer of the album Hysteria was called Robert John Muttlang, who was the producer for most of their albums anyway of Def Leppard. Thank you for listening to Song Explorer, my top 5 songs of all time by Connor Mason. This is the first episode in an amazing series that will be available shortly whenever you find amazing podcasts. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Juliet. Welcome to Beginner's Piano, my top 3 podcast all about learning piano. If you have a piano or keyboard, that's great. If not, just use a piano app on your phone or tablet. I've made this list because I enjoy playing piano and I want to teach you. Listen to this if you want to learn how. Here it is, my top 3 piano songs for beginners. Starting with number 3, Jingle Bells is a festive song that is really easy to learn and you can play for family and friends at Christmas. Just start with E and play it 3 times like this. Then play it again. Then E, G, and C, D, E. Then move on to F. Then E again. And G, F, D, and C. Here's how it goes all together. Next up is number 2. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is an easy nursery rhyme to learn. Here's how it goes. Just start on middle C. Then G and A. Then G. Then F, E, D, and C. Then G, F, E, and D, G again, F again, E again, and D again. Then play it over again. C, G, A, G, F, E, D, and C. Here's it in full. And lastly, but not least, we have number 3, Mary Had a Little Lamb. It is so simple that it only has 3 notes in it. Just start with your third finger on E, then D and C, then back up to D and E, then D and E, then E, D, C, D, E, C, D, E, D, C. Here, sit together. Here's a couple of facts now. First fact, the piano was first invented in the early 18th century in Italy. Second fact, the piano has 88 keys, all playing different sound. That's all for today. Thank you for listening.